Hello, all, and welcome to session 7 on the subject basics of accounting. In the previous session, we have learned what are the rules in passing journal entries as far as English and American system of accounting is concerned. We also saw a few examples as to how you can pass journal entries. And in today's session, we are going to continue and we are going to solve full problems under English system of accounting as well as American system of accounting. So let's look at the topics that will be covered. So we'll pass journal entries under English system of accounting. So also we'll pass journal entries under American system of accounting. So let's look at this particular problem. So journalize the following transactions. So past journal entries is given, and this is the problem that we are going to solve now. Let's look at the problem. Past journal entries for the following transactions. June 1st, commence business with cash and furniture, rupees 45,000 and rupees 18,000 respectively. So what I will do is, for first few transactions, I will take notes. Later on, we will directly enter it in the journal format. So we have the date column, the particulars column, the ledger folio column, the debit amount column, and the credit amount column. So commence business with cash. So first we need to read the transaction. Find whether the 6 words are present. Cash, bank, check, draft, paid, received. So I have an account by the name cash account. It's given. Then I read the transaction further, second step, and find which is the other account. There is furniture account as well. So we have furniture account. And also it's given commence business, started business, meaning to say that is capital account. We have seen all these in our examples in the previous session. So now these are the first and the second step. The third step is find to which class of accounts the account present in the transaction belong to. Cash is an asset, belongs to the class real account. Furniture is an asset, belongs to the class real account. And capital, it is businessman's personal account. We don't record the name of the businessman. So this is personal account. So this is the third step. To which class of accounts the account present in the transaction belong to. Once this is done, we go to the fourth step and apply the rules of real account, apply the rules of personal account, and find whether this account is to be debited or credited. Started business, commence business with cash and furniture, meaning to say businessman is giving money, so cash is coming in. So real account rule, debit what comes in. I record the letters D and R. Businessman is starting business, furniture is bringing in furniture as his capital, so furniture is coming in. And businessman is the giver, personal account, credit the giver of benefit. So in this particular transaction, we have 2 debits and 1 credit. Remember, every transaction we have only 2 aspects. Number of accounts can be more than 2, can be 2 and more than 2, but aspects are only 2, that is debit and credit. So how do you record this particular transaction? So date is given June 1st. There is no mention of the year, so I record over here June 1st. We will record the debit aspect first. I record cash account debited. Cash account debited. Cash value is given 45,000. So I record 45,000 in the amount column. Then we have furniture account which is also debited. So again, furniture account from the left hand side in the particulars column. So I record furniture account debited. The value of furniture is 18,000. Value of furniture is 18,000. And then we have capital account credited. Credit aspect, as if we are starting a new paragraph, I record over here to capital account. So total capital of the businessman. Man can bring capital in the form of cash, in the form of assets, in the form of goods. So 63,000 will be the capital of the businessman. As I said, journal entry is incomplete without narration. So I write being started business with cash and furniture. Started business with cash and furniture. So it is very important that the narration explains the journal entry. So this is the first journal entry. Now very important point that we have to note is, in our discussion in the previous session, we had only two accounts and one account was debited, another account is credited. But if you look at this transaction, we have more than two, we have three accounts. So journal entries where there are three or more accounts involved, such an entry is called as a compound journal entry. Whereas all the entries that we have learnt in the previous session are all known as simple journal entry, where only two accounts are involved. So entries where only two accounts are involved, in which one account is debited and the other account is credited, that is called as a simple journal entry. But entry where there are three or more, in this example there are only three, where three or more accounts, in that three, two may be debited or two may be credited. But one has to be debited or has to be credited. Remember this. So entries where there are three or more accounts present, such entry is called as a compound journal entry, and June 1st dated entry is a compound journal entry. Remember this. Alright. So let's move to the second transaction. So date is given June. I don't have to repeat the month once again. I write 2 indicating June 2nd. Purchased goods worth rupees 20,000 for cash rupees 12,000. So purchased goods worth rupees 20,000 for cash rupees 12,000 and on credit is given 8,000 rupees. So first we will read the transaction and find which are the accounts present. Cash word is given, so I record over here cash account. Cash transaction, account present is cash account. Then it's given for cash 12,000 and on credit. People from whom we purchase goods on credit, they are called as creditors. They are called as creditors. Normally we can record suppliers also. We can record suppliers also because they are supplying on credit, because we are not paying entire value in full. And then we have purchased goods. Since purchased goods is given, the account present will be purchases account. Purchases account. So once again, the entry will become a compound journal entry because there are three or more accounts present. Second step is to which class they belong. Cash belongs to the class real account. I am just writing the letter R indicating real account. Creditors are persons, people. So they belong to the class personal account. Then we have purchases. All information about goods is covered under real account. It's covered under real account. So that is about the third step. Fourth step, let's apply the debit and credit rules of respective classes and see whether these accounts are to be debited or credited. We are purchasing goods. When we are purchasing goods, cash is going out. So credit what goes out. So cash account will be credited. When we are purchasing, creditors, personal account, receiver and the giver. We are purchasing from creditors. So creditors are the giver. So credit the giver of benefit in case of personal account. And when we are purchasing goods, real account, goods are coming in, debit what comes in, real account rule. So purchases account will be debited. So now we can record the journal entry in our journal. So date is June 2nd, we will write the debit aspect first. So I record from the left of particulars column, I record purchases account debited. We will record the amount. Then you see both cash account and creditors account are credited. So we will start as if we are starting a new paragraph. To cash account. To cash account. So also to creditors account. To cash account to creditors account. So let's find out the values now. Purchase goods worth rupees 20,000. So this transaction is worth 20,000. Then for cash is given. Business is paying a cash of only up to 12,000 rupees. So 12,000 worth is cash purchases in this 20 and 8,000 worth is credit purchases. So creditor's name will be recorded. Narration being purchased goods for cash and on credit. Purchased goods for cash and on credit. And on credit. So if you look at these two journal entries, in this entry you find two accounts debited. In this particular entry you find two accounts credited. So it can be any number, but remember, for every debit, there is a corresponding and equal credit. So when you total, both debit total and credit total will be equal. For every debit, there is a corresponding and equal credit. Remember this. So 20,000 is debited and 20,000 is credited as well. That's why the golden rule of double entry principle, for every debit there is a corresponding and equal credit. So I hope the second transaction is clear. Let's move to the date June 4th now. We will make the entries directly in the books now. Sold goods 14,000 to Anand. So goods worth 14,000 are sold to Anand. We will read the transaction whether cash, bank, check, drop, paid, received is given. Nothing is given. We will check whether the name of the party is given. Yes, name of the party is given. Anand is given. So one of the account present will be Anand's account. Second step will be to read the transaction, find the other account. Sold goods. So sold goods means sales account. So there are only two accounts in this transaction. One is Anand's account, another one is sales account. Anand's account belongs to personal account, whereas sales account belongs to real account. Let's apply the personal account rule to Anand. Business is selling to Anand. When business is selling to Anand, Anand is the receiver of goods. Anand is the receiver, so debit the receiver of goods. So directly we can record Anand's account debited. Anand's account debited, that is 14,000 rupees. And business is selling. When business is selling, sales, real account, debit what comes in, credit what goes out. When business is selling, goods are going out. So credit what goes out. So credit aspect, as if we are writing a new para. So to sales account. To sales account. Amount will be 14,000. Amount will be 14,000. So this is the journal entry for June 4th dated transaction. So you can write the narration being goods sold to Anand. Goods sold to Anand. It is understood that it's a credit sale because Anand's name appears in the books of the business. Let's move to the next transaction. Next transaction dated is 6th. Now, a very, very important transaction. More about it we will understand when we come to the concept of cash discount and trade discount. So, June 6th. Sold goods worth rupees 25,000. Transaction value is worth rupees 25,000 and it's given very clearly at a trade discount of 6%. At a trade discount of 6%. Very, very important point that you have to note. Trade discount will not be a part of our books at all. Trade discount will not come in our books of accounts at all. So trade discount of 6%. So 25,000, 6% of 25,000 will be 250,500. 1,500 will be the trade discount amount. So the actual transaction value that will be recorded in the books is only 23,500. Remember a very important point. The transaction value given is 25,000. Sold goods worth rupees 25,000 at a trade discount of 6%. Always when trade discount and cash discount are given in the transaction, first deduct a trade discount from the sale value or the purchases value. So from 25,000 we deduct 6%. So 1% is 250, 6% would be 1,500. So the actual transaction value that will be recorded in the books is only 23,500. Remember, 23,500. And then it's given a cash discount of 5%, and that 5% cash discount will be calculated on 23,500. So it will be 2350, 10%. So half of that will be 1,525. 1,525 will be the cash discount, and the amount actually received will be 21,975. So 22, 29, 22, 23, 400, 23, 500. So we are going to record only this part of the numbers in our accounting books. Trade discount will not find a place in our accounting books at all. Remember this. Trade discount is given so that the business sells more. Cash discount is given so that the business collects the money at the earliest. So understand this. So transaction value will be only 23,500 rupees and not 25,000. Okay, let's go back to the transaction. So sold goods worth rupees 25,000 at a trade discount of 6%, cash discount of 5%. So the account present one is cash account, which is name of the party is also not given. Purchases, cash, bank, check draw, paid, received is also not given. Cash discount is given. That's actually discount, not cash. So 6 words are not given. Name of the party is also not given. So we assume that it's a cash transaction. Account present will be cash account. Next we have discount account. Discount account, because there is a cash discount. This discount is cash discount, not trade discount. And also we have sold goods. So we have sales account. Sales account. And cash account belongs to real account. Discount account belongs to nominal account. And sales account belongs to real account. So when we are selling, cash is coming in. So debit what comes in. Discount is given to a customer. Discount is given. So discount allowed is a loss. Nominal account rule, debit all expenses and losses. Debit all expenses and losses. So discount allowed account. And sales, when we are selling goods are going out. So credit what goes out, real account rule. So see, we have 2 real account, 1 nominal account. It would not be a surprise if you have say 3 accounts in an entry. One is personal, one is real, one is nominal. Any combination is possible. Remember this. So let's record this entry. There are 2 debits and 1 credit. So I will record, date is June 6th, I record cash account debited. Cash account debited. Then discount, if there is a little confusion, you can record it as discount allowed account debited. Discount allowed account is debited to sales account. To sales account. Now as I told you, the sales value that will be recorded in the books is 23,500 rupees. So I record over here 23,500. Remember, value of goods sold is 25,000. But trade discount is 6%. 6% of 25,000 is 1,500. This trade discount value will not be shown in our books at all. What discount we show in our books is only cash discount. More about it we will discuss in the coming sessions. So 23,500 is the transaction value. Discount amount is 1,525. That is cash discount. And cash amount received will be 21,975. So when you total 21,975 plus 1,525 together, you will get 23,500. And the narration will be being goods sold at a cash discount of 5% and a trade discount of 6%. And a trade discount of 6%. This would be the narration. Narration should explain the entry, because when we say 23,500 rupees, meaning to say this value is only 94%, because 6% trade discount is excluded from this particular value. Remember this. So that 6% over here is 1,500 rupees. If we can calculate, this is only 94. If we calculate 100% is how much, you will get 25,000. So trade discount will never be shown in our books of the business. Remember this. So it is only the cash discount related, and the transaction value will be 23,500. Discount value is 1,525 and cash value amount received is 21,975. Another very important statement. Whenever you are writing the journal entry and when there is cash and discount or bank and discount, either both will be debited together or both will be credited together. In a single entry, in one entry, you cannot have cash account debited and discount account credited in one entry. It is not possible in accounts at all. So cash and discount account are either debited together or cash and discount are either credited together. Similarly with bank as well, either debited together or credited together. In one entry, you cannot have cash debited and discount credited. It is not possible in accounts at all. Remember, so this is about the June 6th dated transaction. Let's move to the next transaction, that is June 8th. The transaction given is opened an account with Canara Bank. You know, when you open an account, you have to deposit money. So the account present in the transaction, one is cash account, another one is bank account. Cash account and bank account. Because you are opening a bank account, you are depositing money. So important point, you can write Canara Bank also. But if you have more than one bank, definitely names of the bank has to be written. But you have only one bank, that is Canara Bank for example, or State Bank. You need not write the name because it is understood. Cash account belongs to real account. Bank account belongs to personal account, because remember, bank is an artificial person. It has a name, Canara Bank, State Bank of India. You can call any bank for that matter. So now we are opening an account in Canara Bank. When we are opening an account, we are depositing cash in the bank. So real account rule, cash is coming in or going out. Cash is going out. So credit what goes out. Money is going outside the business. It is going to the bank. Whereas our bank is the receiver, personal account. Bank is receiving the money which we are depositing. So bank account will be debited. And the entry would be, that is June 8th, the entry would be bank account debited to cash account. Bank account debited to cash account. And the amount will be 10,000 rupees. So you can record 10,000 in the amount column. 10,000 in the amount column. I write narration being account opened with Canara Bank. Being account opened with Canara Bank. So below every narration, just draw a horizontal line so that you know that this particular entry is done. Let's move to the next transaction. Next transaction is 11th. Next transaction is 11th. Withdrew from bank for office use. Now, there is money deposited in the bank. Business is withdrawing money for office use. So, withdrawing money. At that time, once again, the accounts present would be cash account and bank account itself. Because cash is withdrawn from the bank. So, another account is bank account. Cash account belongs to real account, bank account is personal account. Now, when we are withdrawing money from our bank, cash, real account rule, cash is coming in. See, withdrawn from bank, cash is coming in. So, debit what comes in. And when we are withdrawing money, bank, personal account, bank will be the giver of money. So, credit the giver of benefit. Credit the giver of benefit. So, when we are withdrawing money from the bank, cash is coming in. And bank is the giver of money, personal account. Credit the giver of benefit. So the journal entry would be cash account debited. Cash account debited to bank account. Cash account debited to bank account. Amount withdrawn is 2,000 rupees given in that transaction. It is 2,000 rupees. I record being amount withdrawn from bank. Now for what purpose it is withdrawn? It is not given. It is just given that it is for office use. Now the money has come to the businessman's hand. He can buy anything for the business. Now, one more very important point apart from journal entry. Suppose you are writing in a book and the space on that particular page is over. So what you do is, you just draw the total line in the debit and credit amount column only. Only in this column. And you total the debits, total the credits. So you will get 63 plus 20 is 83, 87, 97. 97, 1 lakh 20, 1 lakh 30, 1 lakh 32,500. 1 lakh 32,500. Similarly, if you total here as well, it's 63, 83, 87, 97. 97, that would be 1 lakh 20, 1 lakh 30, 1 lakh 32,500. 1 lakh 32,500. So these numbers would be same, because for every debit there is a corresponding and equal credit. So total if you get as 1 lakh 32,500, same number you will get on the debit also. And here we record the words as balance C/F. At the end of the page, we normally record balance C slash F. C slash F stands for balance carried forward. Balance carried forward. This balance is carried forward to the next page. So when I go to the next page, I first record it as balance brought forward, B slash F. I record balance brought forward, and in both the columns I will record 1,32,500. 1,32,500 will be the value. So at the end of the page, you are going to record balance carried forward, total of the debit and credit amount. Same thing on the next page, you are going to write balance B slash F. B slash F stands for brought forward. So previous page it is carried forward, and the next page it is brought forward, and the amount is same, 1,32,500 itself. Let's move to June 14th. June 14th. What is the transaction? Sold goods to Bhuvan and received a check, 14,000 is given. Now if you read further, there is deposited Bhuvan's check in the bank and date given is 17th. So that's a very, very important point here. If you receive a check on one day, and if you deposit on the same day, then you will record it as bank account itself. But if you have received a check on one day and you are depositing the check on the next day, you will treat when the check is received as if cash is received. This is another very important rule in accounting. And when you are depositing check on that day, after 1 or 2 days, we will assume cash is deposited in the bank. So understand, check received and deposited on the same day, you will record it as bank account. But if check is received on one day and deposited on another day, you will treat as if cash is received, and on the day the check is deposited, we will assume that cash is deposited in the bank. So 14th dated transaction, sold goods to Bhuvan, received a check, but the check is deposited on 17th. So we will assume as if cash is received. And it's a sold goods to Bhuvan and received a check is given. So the accounts present is cash account and Bhuvan's sales account. Cash account and sales account. Because cash is coming in, Bhuvan is giving a check, but since we are depositing after 2 days, we will assume cash is received. Since cash is coming in, cash account will be debited. So I record cash account debited. The amount is 14,000. And when we are selling goods to Bhuvan, sales, goods are going out. So I record to sales account. To sales account, 14,000 in the credit amount column. Credit amount column. So narration is supposed to be written. Since there is limited space, I am not writing the narration, but it will start with the word being. Being goods sold to Bhuvan. Being goods sold to Bhuvan and check received. You can make a mention of that. Though the word check is there, we use cash because check is received on one day, but it is deposited on another day. So cash account will be used instead of bank account. Let's move to transaction dated 15th now. 15th. Purchased land at 35,000 and incurred 6,000 on stamp duty and registration. Another very, very important point. When you are purchasing an asset, land is an asset. Whatever expenses are connected in connection with the purchase of that asset will be added to the cost of the asset. So cost of land is 35, but stamp duty and registration are related expenses connecting to land, so that 6,000 will be added to land value and land cost will be 41,000. So remember, any expenses in connection with the purchase of an asset till it is put to use is included in the concerned asset account itself. So we have one account is land account and purchased land is given. Name of the party is not given. 6 words are not there. So definitely it is a cash transaction. So the other account present will be cash account. So land, when you are purchasing, asset is coming into the business. Land is real account coming in. And when you are purchasing land, cash is going out. So credit what goes out. So the entry for this particular transaction would be land account debited to cash account. Land account debited to cash account. As I said earlier, 35,000 is the cost of the land, 6,000 is the stamp duty and registration. So put together, the value of land would be 41,000. So 41,000 will be the value. So you can record the narration being Land purchased and stamp duty and registration charges incurred or paid. You can record that. So being land purchased and stamp duty and registration charges paid. Let's move to the next transaction, that is 16th. Paid rent and travelling expenses, rupees 2000 and 1500 respectively through check. So business is paying rent, business is paying for travelling expenses, through check is given. So one of the account present is bank account, then we have rent account and travelling expenses account. Both rent and travelling expenses are nominal account because these are expenses. Another account is bank account because payment is made through check. So when the business is paying, bank account belongs to personal account. Bank is the giver. So bank account will be credited because it's the giver of benefit. Both rent and travelling expenses are expenses, nominal account. Debit all expenses and losses. So rent account will be debited. It's a nominal account, it has to be debited. So rent value is 2000 rupees. Then we have travelling expenses account debited. Travelling expenses account debited. That is 1500 rupees to bank account because the payment is made through check. So bank is the giver of money. So total will be 3500 rupees. And narration would be being rent and travelling expenses paid. Remember, writing narration is a must. So rent and travelling expenses paid. Let's move to 17th one. Deposited Bhuvan's check in the bank. See, on 14th we had received a check from Bhuvan. That is, the amount is here. We have received a check from Bhuvan, but we deposited on 17th. So check received on one day, deposited on another day. As I said, you will be treating as if cash is deposited. It would be a simple, like amount deposited in the bank. So Bhuvan's check is deposited. We can say bank account debited. Bank is the receiver. When you are depositing, bank is the receiver of benefit. To, when we received a check, we treat it as cash account. We treated it as cash account. And when we are depositing, we'll assume cash is deposited. So when cash is deposited in the bank, cash is going out, real account. Credit what goes out. So bank account debited to cash account would be the entry. And the amount is same. Bhuvan's check value was 14,000 rupees. So it would be 14,000 itself. 14,000 itself. Now point to note. You can write the narration being deposited Bhuvan's check in the bank. Let's do a little analysis of these two transactions. I will record just the names. I record cash account debited to S, sales account. That is this particular entry. And I record over here bank account debited to cash account. C indicates cash account. So if I cancel cash account debited with cash account credited. If I cancel cash account debited with cash account credited. Like for example, if I just do the cancelling, debited here, credited here. What will remain? Bank account debited to sales account. Bank account debited to sales account. And that is the point. If we have sold goods to Bhuvan and received a check, business's bank is receiving the money, goods are going out. The direct entry would have been bank account debited to sales account, which we are now getting. So here, cash account and cash account automatically gets cancelled. We don't have to cancel. When we write it in the account, it cancels itself. Remember, so that is the understanding. When check is received on one day, we treat as if cash is received. And the same check is deposited on another day, we assume cash is deposited in the bank. And the ultimate outcome of those actions is this. Cash account debited here, cash account credited here, it cancels. So what remains is bank account debited to sales account. That is the original entry we were supposed to get, and that is what we get. Let's move to the next one. So you can record the narration for the 17th dated transaction. Received rupees 13,800 in full settlement of Anand's account. Interesting point. We have sold to Anand goods worth rupees 14,000. We have sold to Anand goods worth rupees 14,000, and now we are receiving from Anand the 13,800 rupees. We are receiving from Anand the 13,800 rupees, and it's given further in full settlement of his account. So once he pays 13,800, he is not going to pay even a single paise more. So this 200 which we are not going to receive, this becomes discount allowed, because the word in full settlement is given. So when the word full settlement is given, that means the difference of the amount will be treated as the discount allowed. We are allowing discount because we are receiving only 13,800 from Anand instead of his account balance of 14,000 rupees. So if I record the accounts present over here, so received is given, so the account present is cash account. Then as usual we have discount allowed account. I will record discount allowed account. And then we have Anand as well. Anand is the giver. So cash is real account, discount allowed is nominal account, and Anand is personal account. See a classic example, I said you have all three classes of accounts present over here. There is personal account also, real account also, nominal account also. So we are receiving 13,800. So real account, cash is coming in. So I record debit. Discount allowed, nominal account, debit all expenses and losses. Discount allowed is a loss, so debit. And Anand, personal account, he is the giver of money, so Anand's account will be credit. Credit the giver of benefit. So the entry would be cash account debited. So cash received is 13,800. Discount allowed account debited. Discount allowed account debited. That would be the difference of the amount 200 to Anand's account. So Anand had to pay to us 14,000. His account is now closed. His account is now closed because he is paying 13,800 rupees in full settlement of his account. So he is paying 13,800 rupees in full settlement of his account. Understand this. So this is about the entry. You can record the narration being amount received from Anand and discount allowed. Discount allowed is a loss, so debit all expenses and losses. And Anand is the giver, cash is coming into the business. So understand that. So that is about 20th transaction. Let's move to 23rd transaction that is given. Withdrew goods for personal use, 1,200. Businessman is withdrawing goods for his personal use. So the account present withdrawn for personal use is drawings. Drawings account, and drawings account, like capital account, is businessman's personal account. So drawings account belongs to the class personal account. Remember, capital and drawings both are personal account. Withdrew goods for personal use and for distributing as free samples. It's like an advertisement given. So you can record advertisement account. Free samples is advertisement. Advertisement is an expense for the business. So it belongs to the class nominal account. Nominal account. And when the goods are withdrawn for personal use, the purchases value, goods available for sale, will decrease. So the other account present is purchases account. This is a very interesting transaction, understand. And purchases belongs to the class real account. So when the business person is withdrawing goods for personal use, whenever you see personal use, account present is drawings account. Then he has also distributed as free samples. It's like an advertisement. So advertisement account is another item, account present. Then when these goods are withdrawn for personal use or given as free sample, goods available for sale will decrease. Means purchases value will decrease. So only remaining will be available for sale. So once again, you have personal account, you have real account, you have nominal account. So when the businessman is withdrawing goods, businessman personal account is the receiver of benefit. So debit the receiver of benefit. Businessman is receiving goods. Advertisement nominal account is an expense. So debit all expenses and losses. Debit all expenses and losses. And purchases, when goods are being withdrawn, goods are going out. So purchases account will be credited. Purchases account will be credited. So the entry will be drawings account debited. So I'll record over here, drawings account debited. Advertisement account debited. Advertisement account debited. To purchases account. To purchases account. So drawings amount is given. He is withdrawing goods worth rupees 1,200. Then distributed as free samples is 2000. So purchases value decreases by 3200 rupees. So you can record the narration being goods withdrawn for personal use and for advertisement, for distributing as free samples. So that is about the 23rd dated transaction. Then we have 26th dated transaction. 26th. It is given withdrew from bank. What are you going to withdraw from bank? You are withdrawing cash. So when you are withdrawing, cash is coming in. So debit what comes in? Real account rule. Cash account debited. Amount withdrawn is 6,000 rupees. Cash account debited. That is 6,000. 2. Another account present is bank account. We have had here also. Amount withdrawn from bank. Similarly, cash account to bank account. Same journal entry. There it is mentioned office use. Here the word office use is not mentioned. But it is still withdrawn from bank. We assume it's for office only. So 6,000. So narration would be being amount withdrawn from bank. So amount withdrawn from bank would be recorded in the journal. And we have the last transaction. That is 30th dated transaction. Paid for salary and fire insurance. So the accounts present, paid is given. So one of the account present will be cash account because it's paid. Then we have salary account. And then we have fire insurance account. Remember, fire insurance is for the business. So it's a business expense. It's a nominal account. Similarly, salary is an expense, nominal account. Cash is a real account. So when you are paying salary, when you are paying insurance, both this nominal account are debited because both are expenses. And when you are paying, cash is going out. So credit what goes out. So the journal entry here would be salary account debited. Salary value is given. Salary is 3,000 rupees. Then we have fire insurance account debited. Fire insurance account debited. Then we have 2 cash account. Both salary and fire insurance are paid in cash. Amount is 1,500 and total amount paid would be 4,500 rupees. Would be 4,500 rupees. So narration you can record being salary and fire insurance premium paid. Salary and fire insurance premium paid. That would be the narration for this particular entry. Narration for this particular entry. So once the narration is written, that completes our journal entries. But as I said, end of the problem, just we need to total. We need to just total these numbers. So 1,32,000, 136, 146, 186, 186, 187, 190, 2,04,000, 2,04,000 plus 14, 2,18,000, 19, 20, 21, 27, 30, 31, 31, 700, 31, 700, 38, 700. So you'll get 2,38,700. 2,38,700. So I'll just do the total again. 1,30,000, 40, 80, 90, 2 lakh. Okay, 2,04,000, 2,10,000, 2,12,000, 2,13,000, 2,16,000, 2,20,000, 2,23,000, 2,24,000, 2,28,000, 2,30,000, 2,30,000, 2,31,000, 2,32,000, 2,32,700 you get. 2,32,700. That is the total. So you don't have to write the word total, it is understood. So this is about the first problem. So there are quite a few new transactions. We have seen compound journal entry as far as the first, second, 6th dated transaction, and also we have 30th dated transaction. These are all compound journal entries where 3 or more accounts are present. Also on 23rd and 20th as well, and 16th as well. Quite a few. Quite a few we have compound. June 1st, June 2nd, June 6th, then we have June 16th, June 20th, and June 23rd and June 30th. These are all compound journal entries where 3 or more accounts are present. Rest are all simple journal entries. So when you complete one page, just total, write balance carried forward, and when you begin the next page, first record balance brought forward. Same number which you have got on the previous page, record in both debit and credit column, and then at the end of the problem, you simply total it. You can write total, you need not write total. So let's look at the second problem. Past journal entries for the following transactions, and we will solve this particular problem under American system of accounting. Okay, let's look at the second problem. Now we are going to solve this particular problem under American system. So I record American system. So we are going to look at elements in the transaction: asset, liability, equity, income and expense. So let's look at the first transaction. The transaction date is given 2021 May 1st. So I will record 2021 in the date column and I will record May 1st. What is given? Commence business with cash. So I will just record over here cash. Then machinery. Machinery is given. Then we have furniture. So these assets are given, and commence business, as we understand, it's a capital account. So these are the accounts that are present in May 1st dated transaction. And point to note, cash, when we are starting business, businessman is bringing money. So cash value increases, machinery value increases, furniture value increases, means overall asset value increases, and also capital of the businessman will also increase. So what you see, the first part, these are all assets, whereas capital, we call it as equity. So asset value increases. Increase in the value of asset are all debit. So I record over here cash account debited. The amount of cash brought in is given 45,000. Then we have machinery account debited. Machinery is another asset that we have. Machinery account debited, which is 25,000. Then we have furniture account debited. Furniture account debited. Amount is 35,000. Then capital value increases. Increase in equity is a credit. So I record to capital account. To capital account. Again, total 70, 80, 90, 1 lakh. 1 lakh 5,000 is the capital amount. So you can record the narration being started business with machinery, cash and furniture. That would be the narration. So I am not writing the narration, so you can record that. Narration always starts with the word being, and after you finish writing the narration, just draw a line in the particulars column. Let's move to transaction dated 3rd now. What is given? Purchased goods worth rupees 18,000 for cash is given. Purchased goods worth rupees 18,000 for cash rupees 10,000 and by check rupees 8,000. So the accounts present are cash account, bank account. There are two assets here, cash account, bank account, and also there is purchases. It's an expense. It's an expense. In bracket I write purchases. I write purchases. Now cash and bank, as we look at it. So when we are purchasing both cash and bank, these are assets. These are assets. And both cash and bank balance will decrease because we are paying for purchases. And expenses, as we say, purchases, expenses is increasing. Expenses is increasing. So the entry would be expenses increases means debit. Asset decreases means credit. So the entry would be purchases account debited. Purchases account debited. The value of purchases is 18,000. To cash account. One asset value going down because when we are purchasing, we are paying cash. So asset value will decrease and cash value will decrease by 10,000 rupees and bank balance will decrease by 8,000 rupees. So to bank account. So decrease in asset are all credit. So narration would be being purchased goods and paid in cash and through check. purchased goods and paid through check and in cash. So both cash as well as check is given as far as payment for our purchases is concerned. Let's move to the next aspect. The next transaction that we have is dated June 5th. Sold goods rupees 32,000 to Akash. Sold goods, let's understand. Sold goods is an income. So I record over here income. Name of the income is sales. And income increases. Income increases. And we have Akash. Akash, it's a credit transaction because cash is nowhere given. So Akash becomes our asset. Akash is an asset because we have to receive money from Akash. So Akash's value, the entry is there is an income, yes, and Akash's value amount is due from Akash. Asset value increases, this would be debit. Income value increases is always a credit. Credit all incomes and gains as you have in nominal account. So the entry over here, date will be 5th and the entry would be Akash's account debited to sales account. Akash's account debited to sales account. The amount is 32,000. 32,000. So you can record the narration being goods sold to Akash. This is a credit transaction. Because nowhere the word cash anywhere not is given. So sales represents income and Akash becomes our debtor. Business has to receive money from Akash. So debtors is an asset. Asset value increases because Akash has to pay, and sales is an income. Income value increases, and increase in income is always a credit. So sales account will be credited. Increase in asset is a debit. Akash's account will be debited. So being goods sold to Akash on credit, that will be written. Next is 7th transaction. Similar to what we had in the earlier problem, but earlier was sales, this is purchases. Purchase goods worth rupees 18,000 at a trade discount of 5% is given. So from 18,000 rupees, first we are going to deduct trade discount at 5%. So 10% is 1,800, 5% is 900. You get 17,100. And this will be the transaction value. And after that there is a cash discount. Cash discount at 4%. 4% of 17,100. 1% is 171. So I will take into 4. That is 482 684. So 684 will be the value. So if I deduct cash received, it will be 16,416. So 17,100. So transaction value would be 17,100. As I have told, trade discount will never form a part of our entry at all. So remember, so which are the accounts that we have? We have purchases. Purchases is an expense. Purchases is an expense. And expenses are increasing means it is debited. So purchases account will be debited. Then we have a discount. So discount that is a loss, you can say, that is a loss. I record over here discount, and loss value increases. So discount, sorry, this is discount received, not discount allowed. This becomes a gain because on purchases we are receiving discount, and gain, discount increases is a credit. Credit all incomes and gains as you have in nominal account. And then we have another account present, that is cash, that is asset. So I record over here cash. Where purchasing, we have asset value decreasing. So asset value decreasing is credit. So the entry would be cash, it would be, purchases account debited. Purchases account debited. And I said the value would be this after deducting trade discount. Trade discount is not shown in our books at all. So 17,100. Then we have 2 cash account. Cash is going out. The value is 16,000 416, and then we have to discount received account. Discount received account. So as I have told you, cash and discount will either be debited together or credited together. So in this particular example, cash and discount are credited. This is discount received, because when you are purchasing, we are receiving discount, so it's a gain. So discount increases. That is, you can say gain increases. Gain increases means income increases and it's a credit. So increase in income, as you see over here, is credit. Similarly, increase in gain is a credit. And asset, when we are paying, asset value decreases. So decrease in asset is a credit. So purchases account debited to cash account 16416 to discount received account 684. So those will be the amounts that we have to record. So 16,416 and 684. So narration you can record, being goods purchased and discount received. Transaction date is 12th. It's given withdrew from bank for personal use. So personal use is given. So when we have withdrew from bank, definitely we have asset is affected. So I record asset. Name of the account is bank. Name of the asset is bank. Then we have for personal use. Since personal use is given, we talk about equity. And equity over here, here I will record equity, and name of the account will be drawings, because it is for personal use. So now, when we are withdrawing from bank balance will decrease. So decrease in bank balance is decrease in asset is a credit. Equity value, when we are withdrawing money, this drawings amount will be deducted from capital. So capital value will also decrease. Capital value decreasing means it's a debit. So capital always shows credit balance. When it decreases, it will be debited. So the entry would be drawings account debited to bank account. Since the businessman is withdrawing for personal use, the entry would be drawings account debited to bank account. And the amount given is 2,000 rupees. The amount is 2,000. So drawings account debited to bank account. So we can write the narration being amount withdrawn from bank for personal use. Since personal use is given, we talk about drawings. Equity decreases because drawings will always reduce capital. So equity value decreasing means it's a debit. Let's move to 13th one. Sold goods and received a check. So we have income. Name of the account is sales. And sales value increases. Income value increases means it's a credit. And we have given with a check. Check means bank. So that's an asset. Name of the account I write bank. So bank balance will increase, and increase in asset is a debit. So the entry will be asset account, that is the name of the asset is bank account debited to sales account. Bank account debited to sales account. Amount is 14,000. Bank account debited to sales account is 14,000. So you can record the narration being goods sold and received a check. Being goods sold and received a check. Let's move to the next transaction date, which is 18th. 18th is given. Purchase machinery at 15,000 rupees is given. So cost of machine is 15,000 and incurred 4,000 on its transportation and installation. So I have mentioned in case of land in the previous problem, any expenses incurred in connection with the purchase of an asset must be added to the cost of the asset. So cost of that machine is 19,000. So it's an asset. Name of the asset is machinery. Asset value increases. Asset value increases means it's a debit. And there is no other information given. It's a cash transaction. So again the account present is cash account, and cash is also an asset. So when machinery is purchased, cash value will decrease, and decrease in value of asset is a credit. So the entry as usual, debit aspect first, I will record machinery account debited to cash account. Machinery account debited to cash account, the transaction value is 19,000. Remember, installation and transportation is not shown separately. It is taken to be the cost of the asset itself. So being machinery purchased and transportation and installation expenses incurred, it is included in this 19,000 rupees and not to be given separately. Let's move to the next one. 20th dated transaction. So we have transaction dated 20th. Paid wages is given. Wages is an expense. So I record over here expense. Name of the account is wages. And expense increases. Increase in expense is always a debit. Then printing is given. That is again an expense. Name of the account is printing. That is also increasing. So that's also a debit. Expenses increases, debit. And paid is given. So the account present, another element is asset and the account is cash. And when you are paying, cash value, asset value decreases. So it's a credit. So decrease in asset is a credit. So the entry would be wages account debited. Wages account debited. Wages value is 2,000 rupees. Then we have printing. Just printing is given, but we can record it as printing and stationery account debited. That would be 1,500 rupees to cash account because cash is paid. Total cash paid is 3,500 rupees. So as I mentioned, when you are coming to the close of that particular page, draw total lines in the debit and credit amount column. In the particulars column, you can record balance carried forward. You can just total it. So this is 1,05,000, 1,18,000, 123, 125, 155, 155, 162, 172, 174, 176, 186, 196, 2,05,000, 2,08,500, 2,08,600. So you get 2,08,600 rupees. You can check the total. 2,08,600 rupees. So before I begin the next page, I record over here balance brought forward. It will be 2,08,600. So 2,08,600. That is on the same line, debit and the credit amount column. Okay. After that, the transaction date is May 21st. So you can record May 21st. And you can record once again 2021. If you record the year once, that's good enough. So May 21st, donated to Prime Minister Care Fund is given. Prime Minister Cares Fund is given. So donation is basically is an expense. It is not an asset. It is not a liability. So donation is basically an expense. So account name you can record it as donation or you can record it as charity. Expense is increasing, so it's a debit. It's a debit. An amount 1,500 is given. So next is asset. You are going to pay donation basically in cash or through check, whatever may be the case. Since the amount is less than 2,000, I am taking cash. So asset value decreases because when you are donating, cash is going out or asset value decreases. So decrease in asset is a credit. So May 21st journal entry would be donation account debited. You can also record it as charity account. So I record over here charity account debited to cash account. You can write bank account also because donation normally given to government, always given to check. But since check is not mentioned, I have taken cash. But there is no harm, you can record bank account also. And the value of donation is 1,500 rupees. So you can record 1,500. Narration you can record being donation to Prime Minister's Care Fund. That is May 21st dated transaction. Then you have May 25th. May 25th is given. It's given received 13,800 in full settlement of Andrew's account of 14,000. Business is supposed to pay to Andrew 14,000. But it's received. Business had to receive 14,000 from Andrew. And business has received only 13,800. That means business has not received 200. and that 200 rupees is a loss because it's given in full settlement of Andrew's account. In full settlement of Andrew's account. So Andrew is a debtor. So I will record over here which are the accounts present. Accounts present, one is asset. Asset. Name of the account, I can take it as cash. Cash value increases, so it's a debit. Then there is a discount, or I can take Andrew. That is also an asset because Andrew is a debtor. So I will record over here the name of the customer. Andrew's value now decreases because he has already paid money. Decrease in asset is a credit. Decrease in asset is a credit. And 200 rupees, that's a loss which we have not received, and that is discount. So expenses and losses increase. Increase is always a debit. Always a debit. So the entry would be cash account debited. So we have received 13,800 rupees. Then we have discount allowed account. Discount allowed account, which is 200 rupees. 200 rupees. Then we have to Andrew's account. Andrew's account. Andrew is a customer, remember? He is a debtor. So decrease in his value. And his account will be closed. 14,000 rupees. So you can write the narration being amount received from Andrew in full settlement of his account. So Andrew's account will be closed. Difference of the amount 200 which is not received is a discount. And as I have been mentioning, either cash and discount will be debited together or cash and discount will be credited together. In a single entry, you can have one account debited and the other account credited. It is not possible in accounts. Okay, 29th dated transaction now. That is withdrew for personal use, not from bank. Business is withdrawing for personal use. So we have one is asset. Name of the account is cash. And when we are withdrawing, cash balance will come down, will decrease. Decrease in asset is always a credit. Then we have for personal use is given. Personal use means account name is drawings and that becomes a part of equity. And when you are withdrawing, equity, capital value will decrease. Capital value, equity value will decrease because drawings will reduce the equity, reduce the capital. So capital value decreases means it's a debit. It's a debit. So the journal entry for withdrew from business for personal use would be, it would be drawings account debited. Drawings account debited to cash account. Drawings account debited to cash account. Amount withdrawn is 1,200 rupees. It would be 1,200 rupees. So drawings account debited to cash account 1,200. Then we have the last transaction, paid for salary and life insurance. This is a very interesting transaction. Business is paying for salary and business is also paying for life insurance. That is life insurance on the life of the businessman. And life insurance on the life of the businessman, remember, is drawings. So the accounts present, one is expense. Name of the account is salary. Salary. Expense increases. So it will be debited. 1. Then we have life insurance. The name of the account will be drawings because it is on the life of the businessman and it is relating to equity. Remember. So equity value is going to decrease. Equity decreases means it's a debit. Capital decreases is a debit. And paid is given. So we have an account. Element affected is asset. Account is cash. And asset value also decreases. And it's a credit. It's a credit. Because life insurance as well as salary is paid in cash mode. So the journal entry would be salary account debited. Salary account debited. Salary value is 6,000 rupees. Then drawings account debited. Point to note, it is life insurance of the businessman. Life insurance, in the earlier problem it was fire insurance, that was a business expense. This is life insurance. Life insurance is businessman's personal expense. He is making use of business's money. And as we discussed in separate entity concept, we simply record drawings. We don't record for what purpose the businessman is using the business's money for personal use. So we simply record it as drawings. And drawings value is 2,500 rupees to cash account. Cash is being paid and the total value is 8,500 rupees. So you can record the narration being salary and personal expense. In bracket you can write life insurance paid. So this is his personal expense and that's why capital value will decrease, equity will decrease, so debited. Salary is an expense, expense value increases, so it's a debit. And cash is an asset. So when you are paying, cash value will definitely decrease. Asset value decreasing is a credit. So this is the journal entry, 31st dated journal entry. And at the end, as usual, we need to find the total, the debit and the credit amount total. So it would be 0, 0, 8 plus 6 is 11, 12, 13, 13, 5 is 18, 1, 9, 10, 14, 15, 15, 8, 23, 3, 2, 3. So it will be 2,33,800. 2,33,800. So 2,08,000, 2,09,000, 2,09,000, 210, 213, 223, 224, 232, 233,800. So 2,33,800 would be the total. If you want, you can record the total. You need not write the word total. So this is about the American system of accounting. So whether you follow English system or American system, you have to know the basics. You may record the element, but you need to know which is the account present, whether it increases or whether it decreases, and what are the relevant rules for that. Record the concerned journal entry and compulsorily write the narration. Only then that journal entry will become a complete journal entry. So I hope you have understood both the problems that we solved. You can try working out the other system for the problem. For the first problem, you can try American system of accounting of passing journal entries. And for the second problem, you can try solving under the English system. So once again, I would like to thank you for your company. And also, if you would like to connect with me, here's my email and my mobile number. So thank you all.